By tomorrow, any call made to a 573 number is going to require you to punch in all 10 digits. Dr. Kerwin isn't teaching Shakespeare to students at the University of Missouri. He's teaching books to residents at the Moberly Correctional Center. Books like Station 11, The Grapes of Wrath, and The Difference Engine by William Gibson and Bruce Sterling. Items like this pipe heating tube and this pipe insulation cable, that heat is what ends up damaging the most, so as long as you're taking them off before temperatures get hot, then they should last you for several years.
Part of the surface job on ramps like this here at Washington Skate Park are a little bit uneven. If you were to put your hand across, you would notice that some parts are rough and then others a little bit smoother.
This review board talked very briefly about the search. However, they are hoping to weigh in on possible candidates for police chief. Evie, dozens of protesters gathered, including faculty, staff, and even some students, and were out there getting coffee and cookies, but it wasn't what you call a traditional gathering. Yeah, Evie, Boone County is asking residents to fill out this online survey. It includes 27 questions about current housing arrangements, ideal housing arrangements if a respondent were to move, and demographic information. I spoke with the Boone County Commissioner and the CEO of the consulting firm hired for this project on why the study was needed going forward.
I would encourage as many people as possible to take the housing survey. It takes less than 5 minutes to do.
Amara Planning Services says the input will be crucial to gaining accurate knowledge of Boone County's housing situation.
When you reach a wide group of people with a lot of different perspectives, and you have the sheer number of responses that you get with the survey, that kind of anecdotal information adds up and it becomes very important. It's very insightful.
To access the survey, simply go to showmeboone.com, and from there, just click on the link here and you will find a 4-page survey that allows you to answer many questions related to your housing arrangement. Data analysis, population trends, income trends, and many more variables will be part of the study. Experts will use the information to plan for Boone County's fast-growing population.
We'll need 30,000 new homes in the next decade or so.
And how to best plan future housing development.
That's a lot of housing to come up with. And we have to be deliberate, I think, in where we put our resources. And again, the whole affordable housing question has to be considered.
Amara will hold meetings from April 8th through the 11th, where county residents can provide input before the survey closes on the 14th. You can find information on the locations of those meetings on KOMU.com. Throughout the day, workers dropped off roll carts for some of the routes with Tuesday pickup times. I spoke with a Columbia Utility spokesperson and a Columbia resident about the new form of trash collection.
We're going by the daily route.
So far, the city's vendor has distributed nearly 9,000 roll carts to residents with Monday and Tuesday pickup times.
But once all the Tuesday customers are being serviced, then the Wednesday customers will start receiving their carts. After the Wednesday customers are finished, the Thursday customers will receive their carts.
Back in March of last year, the Columbia City Council approved ordinance amendments to allow solid waste utility to transition to the use of roll carts. For one resident, Columbia finally coming around to roll carts is an exciting thing to see.
Well, I loved roll carts where I lived. I think it's much easier. I don't know why some of the people thought they were too heavy to move, but they're on wheels, so I never had any trouble putting my roll cart out.
And potentially overdue.
It's about time that Columbia joined the modern world.
The city asked that residents place their roll carts on the side of the road with the wheels backed against the curb to avoid a potential collision.
We think it won't be a problem. There may be some areas where they do become an issue. It's going to be a learning process for our staff as well as everybody. This is new for all of us.
For Barreto, it's now time for Columbia to once again try something new.
What I'm hopeful for is that the next thing Columbia does is offer recycling and composting.
At next Monday's City Council meeting, the Council will hear a first reading of a new amendment proposed for roll cart storage. In late March, a new 235 area code will also start operating for everybody in this map. I spoke with one Columbia business with a unique connection to the 573 area code about how the community may embrace the new number. After nearly 30 years, 573 will no longer be the sole area code for Columbia residents.
I think it'll always be 573 here.
Mickey Merritt, the owner of 573T, says the area code has a special meaning. 573 numbers will still be available, but the agency that manages telephone numbers in the United States says the new area code was needed.
The first 3 digits are your area code, 573. The next 3 digits are the prefix. You have to have enough available prefixes to open up codes for service providers in the area.
By tomorrow, any call made to a 573 number is going to require you to punch in all 10 digits. When the new area code starts operating, nobody with 573 will have to change their phone number. But safety and security equipment such as medical alert devices and alarm and security systems will have to be reprogrammed to include the 573 code when making a local phone call. Despite the changes, Merritt says 573 will always be Columbia's area code.
I always think people like to go back and rely on what they knew when they were younger. And so I think it'll always be 573 here.
And something residents can identify with.
You can represent your area code in your area. It's a way of letting people know that where you're from and that you take pride in where you're from. And so anytime there's a 573 or I see somebody with the 573 on, it's like, I know that place, and it makes me think of home.
People who get a new phone number in the 573 region on March 24th or after may get assigned a 235 area code. Merritt says so far he has not gotten any requests for T-shirts with the 235 area code. In a space where people are locked up, educational opportunities open up.
Sometimes people fall in the trap of thinking, woe is me, that this life is over, basically. Like, I can't do anything because of my criminal record.
But at the Moberly Correctional Center, the Missouri Prison Outreach Program is giving residents a chance to find their story. When Dr. Kerwin isn't teaching Shakespeare to students at the University of Missouri, he's teaching books to residents at the Moberly Correctional Center. Books like Station 11, The Grapes of Wrath, and The Difference Engine by William Gibson and Bruce Sterling.
We've had one-read programs. We've had a speaker series involving professors from across campus. And we've had a couple of short 6 to 8 week courses that are non-credit.
These classes do more than just give inmates something to do in prison. They can keep them from coming back.
When individuals get involved in higher education, that recidivism rate drops.
A 2013 report from the Department of Justice says by 43%.
We're releasing people, 98% of the people we have in the department will be released back to be someone else's neighbor. As a warden, I would welcome any kind of education opportunities we have in here because there's no downside to it.
McVitie says he's ready to take advantage of his opportunity.
I made a commitment that if at all possible, I was going to finish my degree because I wanted to be the first male in my immediate family to graduate from college.
A chance to grow in the mind and the heart.
I realized that I have a lot more in common with people than I like to admit, you know, and I think that's humbling and empowering too. So it makes me feel a little more human when, you know, a lot of times in my life I felt less than.
Grant Green, KMU8 News, Moberly.